Today, we are going to talk about how to get more business if you're introverted. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe whatever platform you're coming from because you're beautiful and we need to grow and you need to grow too. All right. So whatever platform you're coming from, it's great. I'm naturally introverted. If you take the Myers-Briggs test, I am an INTJ, and people are usually shocked by that because they actually think I'm extroverted. I'm totally not. You know, when I first started going to networking events, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It didn't feel right? It felt like I was out of my element. I would just show up, and then I was like uncomfortable walking up to people, and then there's like people had their cliques established already. Literally, I would always make my friend go with me. And he actually got the most benefit from it. He's been working for we went to a networking event together, and for the last 7 years, he's been working for that company. When I think about networking, even now when I go to these events, when I go to TED conferences, when I go to Singularity University events, it's still very unnatural for me to walk up to people. And to be honest, I'd rather just stay at home and watch TV or work and be head down rather than engage with people, right? I see people stay at networking events, sometimes up to 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and it just goes on for this marathon, right? I'm the type of person now, at my age, when I show up to a party, I want to leave immediately already. So that's how I am now. For me, one of the key things I do now, when I go to a conference, I was just at a conference in Dublin, and when I landed at about 3 or 4 p.m. local, in 2 hours, I was already sitting at a dinner with a bunch of executives that I invited to dinner. So what I basically do is I use a tool called Mixmax, and I just dump a bunch of people that I know are going to be at the conference, maybe some speakers in there, and I just say, hey, we're going to have a founders dinner. There's no agenda. Why don't we, let's just break bread together. And usually I try to keep it small, probably anywhere from 6 to 10 people. I prefer a round table. If you can do a round table, cool, because everyone can just kind of talk to each other, and then you want to keep it to one conversation. And I'll probably do another video on dinners later, but that's great, right? You make sure you do a dinner. The second thing is I spend a lot more time creating content like this, like way more time versus networking. Like if I'm really good, I think the best networkers in the world, they probably spend way less time than I do creating content. I'll rather spend much more time creating content like this to build an audience and have people come up to me. So I spend all the time doing that. And when I go to a conference, people will come up to me and say, hey, Eric, I listen to your podcast, love your stuff. And that eventually leads to a conversation. That's a touch point, and that leads to a much bigger deal. So we've closed a couple 6-figure deals just from doing things like that. Dinners, same kind of deal, couple 6+ figure deals, just doing dinners. Think about it this way. Like, I'm trying to bring people inbound, right? That's how I do marketing. I like doing inbound. I like creating content. When I'm speaking at a conference, you're probably thinking like, oh, I'm too introverted to speak. Actually, speaking's not that bad because it's literally me talking to you. Once you realize that if you're speaking, it's really not about you. It's more about helping people around you and what the audience wants. It becomes way easier. And what I recommend is speaking locally first, and then once you get better, apply to conferences that you want to speak at. You're gonna get better and better and better over time. That's another thing that you can do if you're naturally kind of introvert. You wanna be out there creating content, and because you create content, you're gonna field inbound requests, and people are gonna notice you. The fourth thing is, sure, you can do dinners, but dinners start small first and then make it like a mini happy hour. You can have a couple people show up, and then what you can do afterwards, you can do a mini event. Maybe you could have like 50 to 100 people there. And then what you can do is you can start throwing conferences, right? We're talking 200, 300, 400, 500 people. Because the key thing here when it comes to doing business, especially if you want to do bigger deals, it's all about relationships. It's all about touch points with people. So my thing now is always like, hey, even if I get a 5-minute interaction with someone, that's so much powerful than going through like, 10 or 20 different emails with one person. That's just like an online relationship. You got to take it to in person. I used to think I could just stay at home and work in my boxers all day. It just doesn't work like that. You do the online things, and then you when you show up offline, people come to you because they like the things that they see online. So that's my take on it. Those are just a couple things that you can do. Look, I've never been like an expert networker or whatever. I've just managed to make things work to my advantage. So realize what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then you can kind of map around that. Maybe you're more extroverted than I am, and so maybe you do a mix of kind of what I'm talking about. But I think when you're the connector, when you're the person that's out there speaking, when you're creating the content, people respect you because you built a relationship with them because you've helped them with the content that you have. So first, like, if you don't think you have anything useful to provide, maybe learn first, spend a lot of time learning, and then you can focus on earning down the road. Focus on learning, then earning, and then teaching, and you're going to earn even more. And then eventually you don't need to worry so much about, if you're going to be able to put food on the table. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you think there's other ways to network, especially if you're introverted. And don't forget to check out the next video over there if you're coming from YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, whatever channel you're coming from. And we'll see you tomorrow.